So you've gone through early labor, you're likely at 3 or 4 centimeters, your membranes, your water may or may not have released, your mucus plug may or may not have released. That's kind of like a bloody mucousy discharge that comes out. It's very normal. It's like the plug in your cervix essentially. And so now as you move into active labor, surges are likely closer together, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. They're probably longer and stronger with a more distinct peak. You can really feel the pinnacle, and then it starts to slide back down. You might be experiencing temperature changes, getting really hot, getting the shivers. That might be going up and down. So you can do things during this phase to regulate your temperature, like a cool washcloth. You can get into the shower. You can get cozy blankets. Do whatever you need to manage your temperature. You can adjust the thermostat. No offense to everybody around you, but your comfort matters the most. So if you're freezing and they won't turn the heater on if it's the winter or something, go ahead and do that. Really nurture yourself. This is a time when you should really put your people to work. You know, if before you didn't really feel like you needed much support from your doula or your companion, the pressure points that I taught you earlier, maybe you didn't really feel like you needed to be touched. This is probably a time where you need more support and you need people helping you to maybe breathe or to press on your back. You know, don't be afraid to ask for that support during this phase. Who cares if you're rude? I remember in my birth, I'm usually somebody like, I want to be very polite and I don't want to hurt people's feelings. And in my birth, I was like, push on my back. Don't give me that. I don't want that. Like, I just didn't care. And you don't need to care. And nobody's going to be offended. You are birthing a human. You can act. You can say whatever you need to say. And just allow yourself, and we talked about this in the early labor, just to really go within. Some women during this phase, and this is I've heard some really interesting stories about this, they almost talk about like leaving their body behind and they kind of float above. And so that might be an interesting thing too, but they still feel connected and they feel light. They don't feel like it's like this chaotic, like I'm not connected to my body. It's like they're very aware and they're like watching this body birth and they're aware of all the power moving through this woman, but it's almost like they have this bird's eye view. So there's a lot of different interesting things that can happen during this phase. Don't be afraid if you're not like deep in your body and like seeing all these things inside. Like you might have your eyes open and you might be fixating on an object in the room. Again, no wrong way. So many interesting ways to experience this. And you might have moments where you feel like, I can't do this anymore. I want to like step out of my body and I want to run away. And number one, do not be ashamed of those feelings because that's so normal, so natural. I bet you if all women were honest, we've all experienced that feeling at some phase of birth. Sometimes this can be a really exciting moment because I've seen a lot of moms that right when they get to that point, like I cannot do this, they move into transition and they're like 10 centimeters dilated 30 minutes after, like I can't do it, and then they're having their baby. So those emotions, they can come up. We can allow that to move through you. The people that are around you supporting you, they can assist you in moving through that. And again, you might need to be in that space for a little while and to be okay with that and think that this is too much. This is so overwhelming. Feel that and just allow it to come up and out of you. Because if you ignore it and you say, no, like I can't feel that, I can't believe that, it's still there. You're like trapping it in your body. So let it out. You can even verbalize it. There's no shame in saying that I feel like I can't do this anymore, or saying, hey, I feel like I need an epidural. And maybe you do. And maybe this is when you choose to get one. That is okay too. There is no shame in this game. I'm telling you, just be comfortable in the space that you're at and trust yourself, whether that's asking for drugs, saying, actually, I changed my mind, I don't want that, or saying, I need this person to leave the room. You talked about that a little bit.
Yeah.